So the latest mouse from Pulsar is here and it's really, really good. Now the Pulsar X2CL is another updated version of the popular X2 Mini shape, but it's also unlike any other version of the X2 that we've seen thus far. Now, as the name suggests, this version of the X2 Mini is, well, crazy light. Now to give some comparison, the original X2 Medium weighs in at roughly 56 grams. The new CL Mini weighs in at over 20 grams lighter at 37 grams. Now this might raise concerns as to what they did exactly to have such a drastic reduction in the weight. Well, from the information I've been given and also what I've deducted myself, it is a pretty straightforward approach. Now the first thing I noted was how minuscule the PCB is compared to the original, or even just a G-Wolf's mouse in comparison, which is already so damn small. Then we have the battery at 200 mAh, which, to my knowledge, the X2 V3 has a 300 mAh battery. And for the last aspect of weight reduction, the shell has gone through quite the bit of change. The shell is pretty soft, the base has more holes under the skates, and the walls are very thin. And that is the biggest thing that brought the change to this weight. And from what I've experienced over the last week or so, it's been perfectly fine. They did think ahead and had some extra support measures set in place. Definitely be careful when opening the unit though, as we have more rail clips on the sides and an actual clip for the base, which is in the back of the top shell. This does allow for the mouse to not mush or pop open when squeezing it, considering how thin the shell is. And that's it for the weight. Now we're at that stage where performance is really good and stable across majority of mice, especially with everyone jumping to 8000 Hz polling rate. The X2CL is pretty impressive, considering that most of the internals are also done in-house. And speaking of internals, this is Pulsar's first step into custom mouse switches, and damn, these are nice. They are optical switches that are in the same area as the Omron opticals. The Omrons are a bit heavier and have a deeper sound and feel to them with a lower rebound, whereas the Pulsar opticals are lighter in feel and sound but also with a snappier rebound, giving us a really snappy experience, even more so with how insanely well they've been tensioned. The M1 and M2 clicks also come factory lubed on the centering stems, providing a smoother travel and less wobble on the clicks. The side buttons remain the same with the usual Kale black shell white dots, also very well tensioned with nearly no pre and post travel. The scroll area has seen a very welcome update. This time around we do have a flat scroller with tiny rib dots, which I prefer over the previous more G Pro style scroll wheels. It's still utilizing their own scroll encoder resembling the TTC Gold. It's light and has well-defined steps but does have a slight clackier sound. The middle mouse button is really nice. We're seeing more of these tiny plunger style ones which are very snappy but still on the slight heavier side. And we've also seen an update in their coating, which has been really nice. Now as for the more negative side of things, there isn't much to say, and that is awesome. I wasn't a big fan of the stock skates, so those are removed pretty quickly and replaced with dots, bringing down the weight to 35 grams, so that's also a bonus. Now the battery life won't last as long, and that also does depend on the polling rate of choice. So you'll easily get a few days of use on 1000 Hz, but anything above that will chow into the battery. And the last thing is going to be a concern more for the long term. That is going to be about the shell integrity. There's obviously a lot of times where the Pulsar mice do get creaky or grindy over time, and I'm really hoping that's not the case for this mouse. The mouse is really damn good in game. From the weight, the balance, the performance, and the feel, it just creates an insane experience in game, and it makes me feel like this is a mouse I can easily recommend. Now the X2CL does come in at $120 US. That's already $20 US more than the X2 V3, and to me personally that is very well worth it. So if you're keen on checking it out, I'll have a link in the description. Thank you so much for watching, take care, and peace.